begin with the oath of allegiance. I,
Sophia A.B, Akuffo,
do in the name of the Almighty God swear
do in the name of the Almighty God swear
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Republic of Ghana as by law established,
to the Republic of Ghana as by law established,
that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of Ghana,
that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of Ghana,
that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana.
And defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana.
So help me God.
So help me God.
The judicial oath. I,
Sophia A.B Akuffo,
having been appointed Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana,
having been appointed Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana,
do in the name of the Almighty God swear
do in the name of the Almighty God swear
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Republic of Ghana as by law established,
to the Republic of Ghana as by law established,
that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of the Republic of Ghana,
that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of the Republic of Ghana,
and that I will truly and faithfully perform the functions of my office without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that I will at all times uphold, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the Republic of Ghana. So help me God.
So help me God.
And finally, the oath of secrecy. I,
Sophia A.B Akuffo,
holding the office of Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana,
holding the office of the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana,
do in the name of the Almighty God swear
do in the name of the Almighty God swear
that I will not directly or indirectly communicate or reveal to any person any matter which shall be brought under my consideration or shall come to my knowledge in the discharge of my official duties, except as may be required for the discharge of my official duties, or as may be specially permitted by law. So help me God.
So help me God.
We're gathered here this afternoon to perform one of the most significant acts in the life of our nation, the induction into office of a new Chief Justice of the Republic. It has been a simple, solemn ceremony of investiture of the head of the judiciary, the third arm of government. To that end, I'm grateful for the presence of all of you, especially for the presence of two of my predecessors, the former presidents of the Republic, Their Excellencies Jerry John Rawlings and John Akuffo. My immediate predecessor, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, is, as the lawyers say, absent from the jurisdiction. Their participation in these proceedings speaks not only of the continuity of the institutions of the Fourth Republic, for which we thank God, but testifies also to the national character of this event. The Ghanaian people, on Tuesday, 28th April 1992, adopted by an overwhelming margin the provisions of the Constitution of the Fourth Republic in the referendum of that day, and resolved thereby to build under God a nation with a functioning democracy founded on the rule of law. The commitment they made still resounds strongly 25 years later, and one of the most important actors in the preservation of this is the Chief Justice. The decision in favor of multi-party democracy, based on the separation of powers, was guided by their belief that this was the surest path to progress and prosperity for our nation. They did so in the words of the preamble of the Constitution, which, with your indulgence, I shall quote in extenso on this appropriate occasion. Quote, "In exercise of our natural and inalienable right to establish a framework of government which shall secure for ourselves and posterity the blessings of liberty, equality of opportunity, and prosperity, in a spirit of friendship and peace with all peoples of the world, and in solemn declaration and affirmation of our commitment to freedom, justice, probity, and accountability, the principle that all powers of government spring from the sovereign will of the people, the principle of universal adult suffrage, the rule of law, the protection and preservation of fundamental human rights and freedoms, unity and stability for our nation," unquote. These brave words capture the essence of much of our history, our unhappy experience with authoritarian rule, and our determination to enter into a new era of freedom, justice, probity, and accountability. They have provided the platform for the Fourth Republic, ushering us into the longest, uninterrupted, stable, constitutional governance of independent Ghana. Long may that continue. So it is that final judicial power in the state under our Constitution is vested solely in the judiciary and not in any other agency or organ of the state, be it the presidency or the parliament. The judiciary has jurisdiction in all matters of the breach of the law, civil and criminal, including matters relating to the interpretation and enforcement of the Constitution. It has thus onerous responsibilities to protect the individual liberties and fundamental human rights of citizens, to act as the arbiter in disputes between the state and the citizen, to act as the arbiter in dispute between citizens, and to serve as the bulwark for the promotion of the orderly development of our nation and for the defense of the liberties and the rights of our people. Thus far, the judiciary can be said generally to have discharged in the Fourth Republic its duties creditably and responsibly. even though I was on the wrong end of the petition, of the decision in the famous election petition of 2013. A favorable decision of the day could have meant perhaps that this was my second term in office rather than the beginning of my mandate. The attachment of the Ghanaian people to the rule of law made it possible for us in the new Patriotic Party to entrust our fate to the highest court in the land in the aftermath of the disputed elections of 2012. It also enabled the country to move on in unity and stability after the court had handed down its verdict. Ghanaian democracy was enhanced by the decision of then Chief Justice Georgina Wood to broadcast the proceedings of the petition on television. It helped in the process of demystifying judicial proceedings and helped send the clear message from the majority on the court that the controlling principle of judicial intervention in elections was the result delivered at the polling station, which would not be easily reversed by a court. It is a salutary message. 11 days ago, and 3 days short of 10 years as Chief Justice, Georgina Theodora Wood stepped down from office into retirement as the 12th Chief Justice, the first female to head the judiciary, and its longest-serving leader. Her career has been extraordinary, truly historic, and amongst others, she has the enviable record of having sworn into office 3 presidents of the Republic. The ultimate test of her leadership came 2 years ago during the dramatic expose of corruption in the judiciary by one of the nation's leading investigative journalists. We have not yet lived down the trauma of the excruciating shock and embarrassment of seeing officers of our courts in such compromising situations. She, however, quickly rose to the challenge and introduced reforms to restore some dignity to the judiciary and re-establish the confidence of Ghanaians in it. I pay warm tribute to her distinguished service to our nation and wish her a well-earned retirement, even though her public service is still not over, as she is now to take her place on the Council of State as a former Chief Justice. President Akuffo's judgment in selecting her for the office has been roundly vindicated. It is critical for the growth of our country that we have a judiciary that commands the respect of the people by the nature of its delivery of justice, as well as by the comportment of its judges. It is vitally important that we have judges who are honest, possess integrity, and a sound knowledge of the law. The situation where judges prefer judgments on the basis of decisions from lower courts and cite them as law is not acceptable. And even less so when judges cite no authority at all for their rulings and give orders without reasons. Now, judges must be learned, know their case law, and ensure that their judgments are properly motivated. This is the only way the rule of precedent, what we the lawyers call the principle of stare decisis, can operate, which according to the well-known common law doctrine, quote, promotes the even-handed, predictable and consistent development of legal principles, fosters reliance on judicial decisions, and contributes to the actual and perceived integrity of the judicial process, unquote. I am confident that Justice Sophia A.B. Akuffo will be an effective leader of the judiciary, and will guard jealously its independence. She will bring honor to the judiciary and to our country. Her attributes, befitting the offspring of a prominent Presbyterian priest: hard work, discipline, capacity for detailed research, intimate knowledge of the law, independence of mind and spirit, honesty and integrity, deep-seated respect for the rule of law and for the best traditions of the legal profession, abiding belief in the sovereignty of Almighty God will serve her well. These are the characteristics which sustained her brilliant career as a lawyer and which propelled her to the notice of the first president of the Fourth Republic, His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings, who appointed her to the Supreme Court on 30th November 1995, some 22 years ago. Justice Akuffo since then has been one of the leading lights of the court, and her contribution to the court's work and the growth of our nation's jurisprudence has been extensive. She has justified the confidence reposed in her by President Rawlings. She has now to justify the confidence I am reposing in her as Chief Justice. I congratulate her very much on her well-deserved appointment. She will be walking in the footsteps of the 12 previous occupants of the office, whose names read like a veritable who's who of Ghana's legal profession: Akuffo, Julius Sarkodie Addo, Edward Akuffo Addo, E.A. Lankwe Bannerman, Samuel Azukra, Fred Apalu, E.N.P. Soa, Philip Archer, Isaac Aban, Edward Redu, George Akwa, and Georgina Wood. I have no doubt, however, that in her we have a worthy successor to Chief Justice Wood and the others who have gone before her. I'm certain that she will continue with Chief Justice Wood's agenda, redeeming the image of the judiciary and strengthening its accountability, proceeding with the modernization of judicial activities, and establishing more specialist courts to improve the quality of judicial administration. These should be the hallmarks of her tenure as Chief Justice. I assure her of the full cooperation of my government as a genuine and trusted partner, so that together the executive and the judiciary can cooperate in a spirit of mutual respect to realize the welfare and progress of our people. I thank the leadership and members of the Legislature Parliament for the expeditious manner in which the parliamentary process of approval was undertaken in her case. I use this occasion to assure the country that my government will not shield anyone found to have broken the laws of this country. Application of the laws of the land must occur, in the words of the judicial oath, without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and therefore without recourse to the political, religious, or ethnic affiliations of any citizen of the land. When you fall foul of the law, you must be dealt with accordingly, and the law enforcement agencies, including the judiciary, must ensure this is done. To persons perpetrating acts of lawlessness in the name of being members of the ruling party, let me make it clear to you that you will find no shield in my government from the law. Recent disturbances in Savelugu, for example, where allegedly a handful of party executives and youth are trying to prevent the municipal chief executive, who has been duly appointed with the requisite approval of the municipal assembly, from working, are obviously unacceptable. I urge the police to do everything in their power to bring to book all those who fall foul of the law. We cannot have development which will bring jobs to our youth without order. With the Office of the Special Prosecutor in the offing to ensure the prosecution of public officials, past and present, who engage in acts of corruption and financial malfeasance, it is my expectation that the judiciary will help facilitate the work of this body. Let me extend my appreciation to Justice William Atugua for holding the fort, even if briefly, as acting Chief Justice during the period of the retirement of Chief Justice Georgina Wood and the swearing into office today of Chief Justice Sophia Akuffo. I observed that during the vetting process of Justice Sophia Akuffo in Parliament on Friday, June 16, he, together with other members of the Supreme Court, were present in Parliament to lend their support to her nomination. This was a highly commendable gesture. I'm hopeful that this same level of support will be extended as she assumes the mantle of head of the judiciary. To her colleagues on the bench and to members of the bar, I urge your continued solidarity and cooperation with the new Chief Justice to promote the rule of law. That will be in line with the finest traditions of the bench and the bar and will help advance the welfare of our people. We are determined to build a new Ghanaian civilization where the rule of law is not a slogan, but an operating principle for the development of our state, where the separation of powers is real and meaningful, where public officials behave with honesty and integrity, where the liberties and rights of our people are fully protected, and where law and order provide a firm basis for our social and economic development, so that the dreams of freedom and prosperity that animated the great patriots who founded our nation can find expression in our generation. All of us, from the public sector, the security agencies, the private sector, the political parties, the civil society, the religious bodies, and the traditional authorities have a joint responsibility to work together with our different views and different perspectives for the Ghana project, a united Ghana, governed according to the rule of law, respect for individual liberties, human rights, and the principles of democratic accountability. A Ghana that meets fundamental requirements of social justice and solidarity. And a Ghana where we look past commodities to position our country in the global marketplace. We should all work to free ourselves from a mindset of dependence, aid, charity, and handouts, and rather concentrate on mobilizing Ghana's own considerable resources to resolve Ghana's problems. It is a collective enterprise to which we should all commit ourselves in unity and in sincerity. For my part, I have an unshakable faith in the boundless prospects of Ghana's future and will work for it, the radiance of the Black Star. I wish Chief Justice Sophia Akuffo well and God's guidance in the discharge of her great functions. Thank you, and may God bless us all in our homeland Ghana and make her great and strong.
I'm extremely humbled and honored to have been offered the opportunity to serve as the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. I thank the Lord for this honor and privilege, and I'm also very grateful to you, Mr. President, the Council of State and Parliament, for the roles you played in the appointment process. I also wish to seize this opportunity to appreciate former President Rawlings who nominated me for appointment to the Supreme Court at a time when I had not even conceived or envisaged for myself a life on the bench. He must have seen in me something I was yet to see. I'm also grateful to former President Akuffo for nominating me for election to the then newly formed African Court on Human and People's Rights, which has enriched my experience and which experience will be brought to bear in my new position. Finally, I also wish to thank former President Mahama for all the support he ensured the African Court would receive from the African Union leadership towards the advancement of its work, and which, to a very large extent, eased my tenure in the said court, particularly in the position of President of the Court, and made my presidency in that court a success. As indicated during my vetting by the Appointments Committee on Friday, 16th June 2017, I'm passionate about integrity, the delivery of quality justice, and the development and stability of our nation, and will strive to demonstrate these passions throughout my tenure in the high office of the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. The judiciary is indeed the bulwark of our democracy and the defender of the rule of law. A nation breaks down and descends into anarchy if its judicial system breaks down, and I will pursue measures to protect the integrity of the institution, shore up and elevate its image. In doing this, I will be counting on the support and cooperation of the other arms of government, which are headed by Your Excellency, Mr. President, and the Right Honorable Speaker. The judiciary has diligently worked for and obtained a large measure of independence. This is, however, made incomplete by the lack of financial independence, and that is an objective I would like to achieve during my tenure as Chief Justice. The vetting process last week brought into perspective several matters about the judiciary which the good people of Ghana have concerns. These include the integrity of the judiciary and the perception of corruption, political influence and other influences on the judiciary, the conditions of service of judges and magistrates, the infrastructure of the judicial service, that is, courtrooms and residences, delays in justice delivery, loss of confidence in the justice system, and the related issue of mob action, conduct of members of the bar, and legal education in Ghana. These are major issues I will address and find solutions to as I assume office. The judiciary requires the full support of all citizens and institutions in Ghana. Its success means the success of Ghana and our democratic endeavor. I cannot but restate, as I did at the vetting session, that it is when the justice system breaks down that a nation breaks down. In conclusion, I wish to thank Your Excellency, Parliament, and the Council of State once again for my appointment. And I commend very highly the immediate past Chief Justice for her invaluable contribution to the judiciary and the modernization of the justice delivery system of Ghana. I'm thankful to my colleagues of the Supreme Court, all judges, magistrates, judicial officers, and staff of the judicial service, and to the Ghana Bar Association for their support. And I will be counting on your continued support and cooperation in the months ahead to discharge my mandate. I'm also grateful to my family members, fellow church members, and friends, and eternally grateful, above all, to the good Lord for his bountiful mercies and his faithfulness to me. I know that indeed the Lord can do all things, and that no purpose of his can be thwarted. Thank you, and God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong.